I'm the director of Clouds Are Fake.
My name is Connor Dean. I am one of the producers of Clouds Are Fake.
Our film is a rom-com conspiracy mashup of genres. It's a short film in the Relative States Shorts block.
What inspired you to write this film?
It really was. We come from the world of advertising. Connor and I are producers, and our writer and our cinematographer. We all work mostly in commercials, and we had been talking for a long time about wanting to do something for ourselves rather than just keep making client work. And so the writer of this film had written this script, and he showed it to me, and because I had expressed to him my desire to make something for ourselves. And it was just so fun, and it was like a lighthearted take on a very serious subject, which is going too far down a rabbit hole into a conspiracy. And it just seemed really fun, and we had a goal to make something that year. And so we decided, rather than trying to make the most perfect short film ever and have that freezing up and waiting until it was perfect, we're like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get this experience in the can. Let's get an at bat at making something. So we put our heads together and our wallets together, and we made this film.
Were there any happy mistakes on set? Did everything go smooth? Sometimes things...
No, there were definitely some things, like the day that we were supposed to film one of the scenes, we didn't know where we were going to film it until that day. And one of our other producers was able to call and get a permit for City Hall this same day, and got permission for us to film there. So that was really awesome. And I think that we had the storyboards created, but figuring out along the way that a movie gets made 3 times. It gets made when it's written, and then it gets made when you shoot it. And it's a new creature. It's a new thing. And then it gets made again when you edit it. And that first edit, man, the first edit breaks your heart because it's not exactly how you envisioned it. Whether it's better or worse, it's not going to be the same. And then you grow to love this new creature that's come to life.
What is the one thing people take away?
The communication in a relationship is key.
Yeah.
I think that if you take one thing away, because there's lots of things I think people could take from the film, but it's just like with most rom-coms, you're like, oh, if they had just talked and were open to each other at the beginning, then really none of this problem would have happened.
So do they learn to communicate at the end?
At the end, it leaves it open.
Okay.
And so if you are an optimistic person, I think you could see that they could make this work.
Yeah.
But it also is possible that it might not go beyond the end of the film. It's loosely based on the idea of, in relationships, sometimes you feel like you need to change yourself for the other person. Like there are classic feature films like the movie Grease, where you have the main character, John Travolta, and Olivia Newton-John, and she, at the end, changes herself to be how she thinks he wants him to be, her to be, and he changes himself to be how he thinks she wants him to be. And it's just funny because they've done this switch, and they both change completely who they are for the other person. And so that idea, I think the writers took inspiration from real life examples, whether it was from them or from friends, and how you can lean too much on that, and that's not why. You shouldn't change completely who you are to fit what you think someone else wants you to be. Coming from the world of commercial, we wanted it obviously to be beautiful, but I think we wanted it to feel like it was a rom-com, but elevated. We wanted it to have shape and to have contrast, and again, it's a lighthearted take on a very serious subject. And wanted the visuals to kind of set this idyllic world. So you're watching this, oh, this is so lovely, this is so beautiful, and contrast that against this very serious, what can be a very deep experience for anybody if you go too far down a rabbit hole into any sort of fringe belief.
What's it like for you working on this film?
Yeah, this was a special one because Scott and I are producing partners. So we produced a handful of short films, and we work in the world of advertising. So for the better part of a decade, we've been producing And so when Scott wanted to do his own film and direct it, it was a no-brainer for me to help him make that film. And it was very cool and special to see him come into his own as a director, using the skills that we have learned as producers in preparation for the film, and how we prep, how we board things out, how we look at scenes, and to see him learn these new skills and understand how to direct talent, that was really special. And so it was a cool evolution, I think, of our filmmaking relationship, and I was really grateful to support him in that.
It's really minimal direction. Like I am a proponent of, okay, give me less,
Okay. So
more,
yeah,
faster, more intense,
yeah.
And then if there is something real specific, we could talk about it. But for the most part, scene by scene, it was the direction that I would look for, because we did a bunch of conversations beforehand and aligning on what does this character want, what's their motivations, and in each scene, how does this scene get them closer or further away from getting what they want. And as long as we're aligned with that, the way that they brought it out, I had such a great experience on set, trusting the actors, and specifically the best friend in the film, did it in a way that was completely the opposite of how I had envisioned it, but it ended up then, and so we did it a few ways his way, and then I asked him to do it the way that I had envisioned it, and then this was a learning experience for me. In the edit, his way was better, so I ended up going with all of the ways that he did it, rather than, so all of that extra time on set was wasted. But I think it was cool to see that on
Yeah.
the day I was so set on something specific, and then a month later when I sat down and got to that scene, oh man, he was right. I like, and so I'm glad that I trusted him to give me a few takes, because otherwise, the one take wouldn't have been enough for that.
What did you want, and what did he deliver?
He pushed it a little bit more over the top, and I had asked him to bring it back to be more natural,
Yeah.
because his first time he did it, he kind of not a crazy person, but a crazed person perhaps, and he just like really big eyes and like pushed it a little bit more. I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike it, but I feel like this is too much for the character. But let's try a few more. And then I had him do a few that were more straight, and those were just so boring. And in contrast,
Ah.
the little bit more parried well with our main character, who's kind of more naive and
Yeah.
and does come off more just like bright-eyed. And so he had good intuition.
So interesting. It's good to be open.
Yeah. I
Let's
think
explore-
that was, had I not been, I would be kicking myself now. So I'm very glad that
Did
I
you
was.
realize on set? Did you think you were happy with your version, but then in the editing room, that
I remember telling my producers, like, yeah, we'll see. I like, it could work, but that's just not the way that I had been seeing this
yeah.
go out. So I really, on the day, I did not know.
So for sound design, we have this great sound designer that we have used in the advertising world. We keep coming back to this thing of, we make a lot of commercials. Julianne, and she's amazing, and she's worked with us on our past 4 short films at this point. And so we have a great shorthand, working with her and giving her the freedom to explore and to try things. And it just elevates everything so much more when you have such a professional who, can just do things that we can't even imagine, So as we start to get into it, she's able to take, the canvas that we have and then and paint and just do a really great job. So she specifically nailed it on this one.
It was composed by a guy named Dallas Crane, a friend of ours who I went to school with. He works in video game music composition, but has scored one of our previous shorts. And then on this one, like the music is available on Spotify and iTunes. You can look it up. Clouds Are Fake. The score is there,
Nice.
and it is awesome.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
instruments does he use?
We actually had the Justin Bieber's guitarist
Oh, wow.
plays the guitar and a number of different guitars, and a lot of flutes actually.
Okay.
It gives the airy vibe of clouds, and so there's a lot of flutes. And I remember in the process, really, I just remember asking for less oboe. That's all I really remember. Like he'd give options. I like
Less
this, I
oboe.
like this, I like this, and the process
Well,
of
was it
collaboration with him, I loved so much on this film because it really was like he came in having done all this work, but no ego. And when I would say like, there's something about this one, he's like, is it too much this? Is it this? Is it that? I'm like, actually, yes. What if we tried like this or like, and the speaking the language of music, he knew how to
Oh,
translate the language of music, like take what I would say and then he would reword it, and I'd be like, yes, that, what I'm talking about. So a true musician.
Less oboe.
Less oboe. Yeah.
what skills did you bring from advertising, and what skills did you need to learn that's slightly different when you're a film director?
That's a great question. I think the skills of putting something together in a professional way and taking care of your crew, like make sure that they're fed, making sure that you have permits to do stuff, and knowing when to try to steal a shot in a safe way.
What do you mean by stealing a shot?
Well, we had permits to film on a train, like think of like
Yeah.
a tram car in Salt Lake City. And so we filmed all of our train interior stuff on a closed loop where we had complete control of the train, which was awesome. And that was like really, really, really difficult to get. And that's where our producer skills came in super clutch. But we had to get a shot on a train stop that was like outside the train, like them getting on a train. So we just decided to go to a train stop and film it.
Okay.
No permission. We filmed it one time, and then the train police showed them like, "Hey, you guys can't film here. You don't have permission." We're like, "Okay, yeah, we'll leave." But we already got the shot, so it worked out perfect. Yeah,
Perfect.
literally in the edit, we're filming, gets on, ends, and then you hear, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" Cut on the camera, and so it was a close one, but we got it.